Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Max Rye. I love talking about AI, business, and how really AI is going to impact how business is going to be run. And of course, I love talking about how it's going to impact your life. So today, I really want to talk a little bit about the robotics race. It's getting intense. A lot of interesting articles are coming out about China taking a lead in some ways around the space. And before everyone starts saying that's not possible, I just want to make a case here that why that's a potential threat and why that actually can happen. Well, first of all, let's start off with talking a little bit about the latest news with Boston Dynamics. Boston Dynamics, if many of you don't know, is a company based out of Boston, one of the most well-funded robotics companies in the world. These guys have had really cool videos for many years with robots doing backflips. They're the ones that who actually first came out with that robotics dog. That's really cool looking and kind of creepy in some ways as well. But they are one of the biggest innovators in the space. So Boston Dynamics, one of the biggest problems that they've had in the past is their robots have run on hydraulics, and hydraulics can be very tricky, very expensive to maintain, and of course not cost effective to manufacture. So that's been an issue for Boston Dynamics. And there's a new article that came out that they are really trying to follow China's lead on the all electric drive. They want to get away from the hydraulics and kind of go all in on the electric side. They also released this article where they completely went away with their old robot called Atlas. And now they have a new one. So there's a video on YouTube which shows it starting, laying on the ground and then in a very creepy way standing up and walking around, coming up to the camera and then walking away. But it's a very lean, I would say, a very efficient robot that they're looking to produce. And I think this is something that a lot of companies are moving towards. Now, that's actually quite exciting. So what does this really mean with all the Chinese companies coming up? So a lot of us have actually been watching YouTube videos. Recently, there's a company called Astrobot out of China, in Shenzhen actually, that released a video about S1. It's their first robot, and it is impressive. It moves and really in a very human-like way. And unlike a lot of the robots that are currently out there where they use a human handler that's kind of controlling the robot, this one isn't. And it's very fast. It's able to move almost human-like speeds, and it's able to. There's a video on this YouTube where it can yank out a tablecloth from a stack of glasses, or wine glasses. It's also able to flip, I would say, an omelet. It can do all these different things without being controlled by by a human. That is crazy. I mean, this is really nuts because these guys only started 2 years ago. They only came out 2022. And we all know some of these other big companies like Tesla Bot, we have Figure One, we have X1, and of course we talked about Boston Dynamics. These guys have had so many years to work on this, and they're so heavily funded. And then when you see a company like this only 2 years ago coming out, and then promising that they're going to release a product this year, end of this year, it's astounding. It really makes you wonder, where is China in a lot of this? How far ahead actually are they? And, before a lot of people discount what China can do, let's take a step back and look at what else is going on in the world. Right now, there's a major issue with electrical vehicles that the West, for example, in the US and Europe, is trying to stop China from actually coming in and importing a significant amount of electrical vehicles into the Western world. Why? Because China has just become so efficient in building amazing products. BYD, for example, the electric car company, is doing an amazing job, and of course, is one of the investments from Warren Buffett and many other major investors. But they have demonstrated that they can manufacture at a very large scale in a very efficient way. So this is actually, I would say, should be quite concerning to the US, because in the US we do have our advantages. Some of the biggest advantages being we have some of the best R&D in the world, especially from with MIT to Caltech. But at the same time, we need to be a little bit cognizant of where the bottlenecks are. And I think right now it's going to be around manufacturing, being able to produce this at a price point that makes sense and something that everyone can have access to. Right now, China is eating our lunch. I think they are really, really moving ahead when it comes to being able to produce enough of this. So the EV market is just one example of how China has actually moved ahead. The solar panel and all the photovoltaic industry is another area where China has actually already surpassed everyone around the world. So that's why we really need to take them seriously as far as a real threat competitively. Why does that really matter in the markets, for example? I mean, yes, the US versus China and so forth, but how does it really impact these countries? Well, historically, the US has done an amazing job of exporting technology and consumer products and military products. I mean, this is a big part of our economy in the US. So if you think about it, if China does find a way and is finding a way to move ahead on the manufacturing side, they can slowly start eating into our market share globally and start exporting all the same things from military to consumer goods. But now, even some of the most innovative things like robotics and AI related technologies. This makes a huge difference for American companies who are trying to have a foothold globally. So China is actually going to be a big threat. So there's a report that came out last year that mentioned that China is actually a leader now in very, very key technologies. For example, 5G is one of those. The US does have an advantage in a few key ones. For example, I think quantum computing, we're still a global leader there. And of course, aerospace, we know Elon Musk and his company's done amazing work there. But they're catching up quite rapidly. And they've been able to retain a significant amount of talent in China. They've been able to finance really well many of these companies and these startups that are actually in the China ecosystem. This is going to become so, I would say, competitive coming up because you're going to see the US and China fighting over many of the same customers globally. So what I believe the US needs to be doing is continue to invest heavy into R&D and D and really double down on those technologies where it still has an advantage. Quantum computing, aerospace, biotech, these are areas that US excels in, and I believe they should definitely invest heavier into the spaces so it can maintain that edge over China. Now, China is not far behind, so if they do find a way, I think it's going to be very difficult to catch up. This is going to have a lot of implications globally when it comes to politics as well, because we do know that technology plays a crucial role in many of the decision-making process around the world for many of these countries. Hey guys, so tell me what your thoughts are on this below, and of course, I'm Max Rye. Please follow and subscribe below, and look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.